Hello, happy Wednesday, social media, YouTube world, live stream world. My name is Kevin Wade, and this is The Break Room with GriffinWink Advertising. We are back. We took a little bit of a break over the holidays. We hope you were able to as well, but we're excited to be back and talking about all things advertising, promotion, creative, whatever we can come up with. So with me today, I have got Trace Thomas, Summerhill, and Chelsea Homan. Welcome back, guys.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Is everybody just sparkly and rejuvenated and excited to be back at work after the holidays?
Yes.
That
No.
did not sound convincing.
I'm still trying to get my sleep schedule back on track, I feel like.
Are you one of those people that, like, as soon as a break comes, you're immediately back to like the college 3 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Yes.
sleep schedule? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it's not that bad, but I feel like I'm getting older. I feel like going to bed now at midnight, I'm like so tired waking up in the morning.
Y'all, I'm tired at like 9:30. Like, we had this moment on New Year's Eve where we hit like we were just hanging out with a few friends, and it hit like 10:15, and we all just kind of looked at each other. And like we were waiting for someone to like chicken out and be the old person because we didn't want to, but if somebody had, we all totally would have jumped on board and been like, oh well, if you're leaving, I guess we'll. But no, nobody did. Like nobody took the bait, so we were
Y'all
just
stuck it out.
We stuck it out, and with like midnight hit, and we all just kind of looked at each other and went, well. It was
Exactly.
I'm still definitely a night owl, and that's whenever we had I had a little Christmas party with a bunch of friends that were all in town for the holidays, and people were like, "Yeah, we're gonna leave around like 11." I'm like, "What are you talking about? Like 11?
like, no, you don't have to be anywhere. You don't have to be anywhere. What are you doing? Where do you have to be? Explain yourself. Justify yourself."
Kids that they had to go take care of, you know. But,
That's why we've been inviting people over to our house, is because we've got the kids, but as soon as we put them down, like, we can do whatever. So we just people think that we're just like really nice, like hosting all of these parties and events and whatever. We just don't want to leave. We just don't want to go anywhere.
Yeah, and you don't have to get a babysitter.
Exactly. It's
right?
Genius.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, but this week we wanted to get back into the break room by talking about something that we had discussed a lot actually before the holiday, but that we never actually got to talk about. So for a little bit of context, obviously November, December in the agency world is just planning, just tons and tons of planning for 2022, researching, figuring out what the new trends are going to be, figuring out how all of that fits into each of our clients' plans, budgets, strategies, brands, values for that year. And so we sit down and we have these meetings to talk about trends, to talk about strategy. And it seemed like by the end of these meetings, we always just got into a conversation about like, what is the most absurd viral media trend that we're going to have to deal with in this coming year. Like, we've talked about all of the stuff that makes sense. We need to be ready for the stuff that makes no sense at all. We need to understand it. We need to be able to jump on top of it. Is that about Summer and Chelsea were the ones doing a lot of this research. And I feel like that's where all of these ideas that we wanted to talk about came from.
Yeah, definitely. And I think you can tell, when you get on TikTok or whatever viral platformer that you like. I, of course, am a TikTok fanatic. I love all the trends. I think they're hilarious, and they go in my mind. Of course.
Oh my gosh.
And I know Summer does too, because we talk in it's a language, and you either get it, the girls that get it, the girls that don't. That's a TikTok sound.
Is that a TikTok thing? I don't know.
And what is it? Gorgeous girls get it.
Gorgeous girls know what TikTok sounds are. Gorgeous girls. Like, anyways, but it is crazy in the sense that so many people have that on their brain 24/7. So many people really do spend a lot of time on TikTok that it's turned in a conversation that we have a lot. Is it's actually a goal that brands are looking for now, is to go viral.
Yeah. And brands will kind of do anything to get there, right? That was where this conversation started. It's like TikTok is the perfect catalyst for brands to just jump in completely on just absurd viral trends.
Mhm.
which
And
is
you
crazy.
think about it too. I was thinking, I was looking at someone's TikTok the other day. I don't know. And they didn't actually post a lot, but they used to be famous. And I went back and I got to like the ice bucket challenge and the, old
Whoa,
challenges
yeah.
and like
Like
some
Vine
bottle
level
cap
stuff.
challenge. Yes.
So
And
did
so
they
if you
take
think
all of their
about it,
Vine content and put it onto TikTok? Like do all these old Vine
I
stars?
don't
Because
know.
it's very similar, right? Like I feel like
Right.
it's a little bit of like Vine reinvented, but just like a little bit broader and a little bit more palatable. So I don't know.
But
Did all these
people,
A
old
little bit
Vine
of that.
stars?
Like there are some
yeah.
TikTokers that used to be on Vine
Yeah.
and they'll
Is it
stitch a
translating?
comment and be like, where do I know you from? And they'll just post like one of their more viral vines that they did like 10 years ago?
Wow.
But it goes
Yeah.
to show though that people think that viral marketing is this new crazy thing, but it's not. It's
Yeah.
absolutely really not. It's been around for TikTok is new, the platform, but viral marketing has actually been going on for a while.
Well, I mean, and like even back before the age of the internet, you had guerrilla marketing. You had basically ways of inserting your brand into the everyday world in a completely just a completely niche or random way, and it was called guerrilla marketing. And now that in the age of social media, the term viral got coined, and it used to be that I think viral was almost like the upper echelon, like you wanted like only a very select few could ever hope to be viral, and there's not really an algorithm for it, there's not an equation for it, it just happens. But over the last decade, brands are like, but is there an equation for it? And that's where you get a lot of these, and the answer broadly is still not really. But in the interest of trying to find that equation, all of these brands are just creating some ridiculous almost like trying to force viral recognition, which I just think creates some really funny stories and also some really interesting case studies to look at. Summer and I actually covered a few of these on the last episode of Life of the Brand, which is our slightly more structured two-person podcast that comes out on the off weeks that the break room airs. So go check out Life of the Brand wherever you get your podcasts. But yeah, we talked about brand collaborations as being this weird thing that brands try and do to manufacture viral success, try and make that the equation, trying to make brand collaboration the equation, and you come up with some insane stuff. So like Summer, what were some of the more insane ones from like this past year that we saw?
Like Glossier and Bark. So Glossier made dog toys.
So that looked like makeup.
Looked like their products.
Yeah.
Which was cute. The one
Yeah, but
that
everyone would love that stuff too.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, and it's perfectly Instagrammable, perfectly TikTok. Like you can put it on TikTok. It's perfect. But one of the ones that I couldn't wrap my brain around, and Kevin, I don't think you could either. Dunkin' Donuts collaborated with a paint company and made like their signature like orange and purple paint available like for a gallon, and I think it was actually more expensive than what they normally charge for a gallon of paint.
Guys, a half gallon was like $45.
Yeah.
That's like twice the price of any other full gallon paint that you would just go buy at Home Depot. It's insane. But I mean, the brand was very so, and we couldn't figure it out. I feel like a lot of these. Another one was like Barefoot Wine and Oreo collaborating together and calling it like wine's favorite cookie, and they did this whole collab, and there was nothing inherently different about the Oreos or the wine, but they branded them together, sold them as packages for the holidays, and they sold out instantly. That makes a little bit of sense. You can start seeing what the tie-ins between the brands are, even if the products don't relate to each other, the marketing, the messaging, the values all relate to each other. Then there was, like Glossier and Bark, those two things meeting in the middle as something that is it's like the virality is already kind of there for you. You just have to take advantage of it. Glossier and Bark both being brands that came up very much in the social media Instagram world. That makes sense. But Dunkin' Donuts, and didn't the press release from like the Dunkin' head of marketing say like now Dunkin' fanatics can fly their colors, and basically assuming that there are people that are so obsessed with Dunkin' Donuts that they're going to want to like paint their house in the ridiculous like Dunkin' orange and purple.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was one where it got like right here, but we could never quite figure out where that final jump was to like, why did this happen?
It's weird because I kind of could see some people doing that, but it also gives me a panic attack. Like I'm a very I'm a very monochromatic gal, and so the thought of orange and purple paint up in my house, like absolutely,
No.
or as if it was especially being used as a combo,
Yeah.
like maybe both colors in my room, I can't.
I mean, so the nearest we could kind of tell is that this paint company was very much that they're trying to be kind of this next level, almost like hipster millennial Gen Z paint company of
Right.
like, it's all non-toxic, it's sustainable. It lets you, it has all these crazy hex colors that are, that are kind of very hip, and all of their marketing and their website was very hip. And so the best we could figure out is that Dunkin', undoubtedly being a larger company, was the one that went to this paint company to try and capitalize on some of that generational gap that maybe that they were experiencing. And I think that there's a little bit of weight to that, given that around the same time, they also did their rebrand, took donuts out of the name, simplified the branding, retooled the logo, really started putting more emphasis on like their sugary coffee drinks than on their donuts or baked goods. And so all of it seemed like this push to kind of bridge a generational gap that maybe they'd slept on for a decade or two and shouldn't have. And this is how they're trying to kind of get back with it.
It was also like a huge interior design trend that was, of course, viral on TikTok for a long time. The like arches, and more like people were painting, what's the word I'm looking for? Not like statement pieces, but people were doing like accents on their walls. Yeah, but not the whole wall. More like arches or circles, or like behind your cabinets. And
McDonald's should have jumped on that.
Yeah.
Golden arch accents.
That one actually would have made sense, though. Honestly,
I know. You could have bridged that gap. But so I don't know. That's one of those things where you see all of these first few examples. You see two companies banding together in order to be more than the sum of their parts and develop a viral media piece that is going to kind of help bring them into the TikTok era. So I think it's really interesting. And then even TikTok itself becoming a catalyst for massive viral fame, obviously, but then even to the extent that businesses are starting to or have been sponsoring TikTokers, joining TikTok themselves. It's interesting. What do y'all have any crazy stories of like brands that have sponsored a TikToker where you've just looked at them and gone like, why would there be that? Why would there be that connection?
Well, it's kind of like what we had talked about. I know we were talking about this last week. Emily Zagay, I don't know how to say her last name, but she redid all those logos for huge companies, Starbucks, H&R Block, Summer. What are some other big ones that she did? She did like a ton. Adobe.
Apple.
Yeah. She's like, anyways.
Didn't she also redo like all of the NFL teams too? Like
probably. She's made a ton now because she's
but
done
that was just her doing it like, and here's the thing is, and Trace, I don't know if you can from our live stream platform, like take that video and drop the link in the comments section of the live stream so that if you're watching this, you could see what we're talking about.
Well, I think I could share my screen. I don't know.
We'll try and get it up there. And then, but the
I
idea.
have the link right here.
Okay, yeah, Trace, just post the link and we'll talk about it. But I don't know if she's being serious or not. That's the problem. She's like,
no.
Like it does not seem to me like she is being serious, but it's crazy. It's like she'll take like Starbucks and as seriously as anything, deadpan say this logo's terrible, I hate it, I made it better, and she shares like this ridiculous clip art version and then explains to you why she thinks it's better than the without breaking a smile, without any sort of indication that she's just being absolutely ridiculous. And it's so funny, but it's so weird. Like it's such
so
a weird
funny.
brand of humor. I don't know.
It is. It's super dry. She's super serious the whole time, and she just picks like Apple is probably the most worldwide known brand logo ever. And she's like, it's honestly so simple. It's so plain. She goes, there's nothing symmetrical about it. And it's just like an apple is so stupid. And then she just like makes it, hang on, I'm looking at her right now. She just makes it horribly tacky. Oh, she put Y'all have to go watch the video. She puts Apple in this hideous 2K font in the H&R block. It's just so dumb.
Which she just got rid of on the one before.
Yeah.
So what would be a brilliant marketing move then is for companies to actually start reaching out to her and make her redo their logo, like roast us, like roast our logo and do your own version of it. And then actually, so they did. They actually like
companies were commenting because her stuff is, I need to go look her up like actually on TikTok to see the reach that she was getting.
Yeah.
But no, companies, I'll literally go look right now. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. I will find it. But basically, huge companies were commenting to do us.
Me next.
Like Cheetos, I remember, just random huge companies.
Gosh.
Anyways, and so she'd redo them and like with their comment, like asking, she's like, yeah, you like y'all's logo is really horrible. I decided to redo it. Like, you guys obviously need the help. I don't know. She's funny. I gotta find it. But I was confused at first too, but then I'm not a Spotifyer, but Summer, tell them about then what she did for Spotify.
Yeah, so they actually had her, if you got your year-end story
your Spotify
from
Wrapped,
Spotify, when it goes through what your genres were, like your list of genres that you listen to, she did all of those little all those elements. Like, so she redid the names of the genres in her little style that she does. So that's how far she managed to go with, just.
Okay, granted, like as much as I love Spotify Wrapped, we've talked about it on Break Room, we've talked about it on Life of the Brand, we've talked about it amongst each other. The one thing that I feel like they failed on were those like bars that said the genres for the year. Like, it's like everything else was just so beautifully crafted and thought out, and then they were just like squished together.
I feel like this is where we really start to see the divide between like the elder millennials and like the younger millennials in terms of like how, like, do you TikTok at all, Kevin? Yeah.
I don't
either.
It is the most magical place. I love it so much.
Kevin and I are both like right in the middle of millennials. Like we're
smack dab in the middle.
Yeah. And so, we're definitely like TikTok's a completely foreign thing to me, and I don't really get it. But
if you watch the videos, you would get it.
Yes.
Yeah, but I have noticed that traditional advertising, like, I watch a lot of NBA, and there's like these Takis commercials that are like, they look like they're set up to be used on TikTok. Like the people who have these dances, and they're pretty short, and they like have like soundbite. And I'm like, this is set up so people will try to do this dance on TikTok. Like they're trying to set people up, is how I feel.
Yeah,
like,
trying to manufacture virality. They're using traditional means to be like, hey, look, this is very obviously us, like bringing TikTok into the traditional advertising space, which we think is going to make Gen Zs immediately think of TikTok when they see this commercial, and then hopefully, we'll get our little TikTok dance into the TikTok zeitgeist. I don't even know.
Okay, wait, I found it though.
Okay.
This is her redoing McDonald's. She's responding back to McDonald's verified comment that says, I need a new logo, please. Graphic design is my passion. And I'm sure she makes them a hideous logo. But if you go see who's commenting on her things, McDonald's verified, Adobe, the Washington Post, all of these are verified. Washington Post, NASCAR, Tinder, Tampax, Doritos, Ocean Spray, Disney Channel, Champions, Amazon. She redid Amazon's.
Wow.
I mean, basically everyone. It goes on and on and on and on and on and on.
That's insane.
So she's just redoing.
That NASCAR. Yeah.
Yes.
She's
just redoing them, and they're horrible. But anyways,
a secondary trend that I've seen on TikTok is where someone randomly will be like, hey, let me get a random brand to comment on this TikTok. And then all of a sudden, all of these brands just pop up for like no reason. And then there are some people will like, I've seen a couple of people that have like the like dog TikTok accounts for their dog. And they'll be like, oh, my dog Bruno is a huge Detroit Lions fan. It would be so cool like if the Detroit Lions would comment. And so, of course, they comment and they make this huge sort of like production out of this dog being a huge fan. They have the dog come down to the stadium for the day. They put the dog up on the big screen. They send him with a huge package home for all kinds of stuff. And it turns into this whole like, thing.
See, and stuff like that. Here's like piggybacking off of what Trace was talking about us kind of being these middle millennials that just kind of see it. And I don't know if you had this same thought, Trace, but whenever I see a commercial that is very obviously trying to piggyback on a TikTok trend or hear stories about brands doing things like this, I think I would understand so much more about this if I were on TikTok. Like I see something and I'm like, this is very obviously something that is focused at Gen Z, younger millennials, and the TikTok platform specifically. I would understand a lot more about it if I were on TikTok. And I also know that TikTok isn't just ridiculous dances and like stupid Karen videos. Like I know that if I were to go on TikTok, it's broad enough to where people are making videos about what interests me, right? Like I know enough about the social media world to know that it's not, that were I to take the plunge and go onto TikTok, I would probably find it very entertaining. It's just that weird barrier in my mind between like downloading another social media platform. Like if I do it, am I just doing it because I feel like I need to be doing it? Do I need to be adding that extra thing to my life just so that I will be a little bit more in the know when I see these things happening? It's just it's like a weird feeling.
Yeah, I find the good stuff tends to trickle towards the stuff I'm already looking at anyways. Like
it gets onto YouTube.
Yeah,
it gets
like if
onto
I'm already
Instagram.
following a account on Instagram, at this point, their TikTok and their Reels are, I'm assuming, I mean, I could be wrong because again, I don't have TikTok. But I was just assuming like, oh, this is the same thing, right? They're just posting this on both things. And like on Twitter, like is it not the same, Chelsea?
I'm just kidding. I don't know.
I don't know. Like it could not be, and I'm just an idiot.
I'm sure
Chelsea's like, that's poor social media best practice. You do not post the same content. You make your own social. Chelsea runs a lot of our social media.
I'm just kidding.
Didn't know.
It is, and like a lot of people, but it's funny too because now there's like social media rivalry. I feel like, Summer, do you see like people reposting their TikToks and Instagram Reels, and they're like, oh, you're almost like trying to get famous twice. Like, just leave it on where you got it. I don't know. Like, I see people reposting to Instagram Reels, and they're like, TikTok's hot first. Like,
Yeah,
but yeah, you are right. I do see
Reels, and I've found myself scrolling through, but I don't get the same amount of enjoyment as I do when I'm on TikTok. Like, it's just not the same. It might be the same video, it might be the same length, but for some reason, whatever TikTok is doing, however they're doing it, is just
it's also completely different. So my algorithm for TikTok versus Instagram is very different. Like I get on Instagram to like see my friends and like brands and pictures and like where people are doing, what people are doing. TikTok, I want to just laugh. So my algorithm is very, and not like funny cat video, but just people like me coming on talking, just cracking me up. It's just different. And so a lot of times those kind of videos don't really portray the same energy on Instagram.
When TikTok says for you page, they mean for you.
They've got that algorithm down.
Yeah. It's very creepy.
It's
all of my stuff is like about me, something I'd like, because, and it's not like really demographic based, because my boyfriend's For You page, I hate it so bad. It's all guy stuff, it's very guy humor. Everything to me is like, I'm like, that's not funny literally at all. But I'm sure he watches mine and thinks, I'm like crying, laughing. He's like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. So it is very specific to what you like and what you watch for the most amount of time.
Yeah.
So yeah. It's interesting.
So where do we think this is all headed then? I guess that's kind of like the practical part now, is trying to figure out, especially for us as an agency, this is what we've run into. This is the zeitgeist. This is how people are viewing these different platforms, Instagram, TikTok. Where are we headed here? Like, did you guys notice, or do you guys have any opinions on what trends we're going to see in the brand world moving through 2022? in regard to virality?
I don't know if it's specifically related to virality, but from the things that I've been reading and a lot of the trends that I'm seeing, like obviously I think we're aware that like these old school marketing mixes of that are very weighted toward like Facebook, Instagram ads, they're not as sustainable anymore. They're not as sustainable because of changes with things like iOS, for Apple, or Facebook changing the way that they enforce their ad policies, things like that. But it's also increasingly not sustainable because people don't have the attention span to consume everything that they're being bombarded with. And I think what we're going to see is a shift toward not even that it's already happening, but I think even more so where brands are almost going to be like media first. Like they're creating media arms first before they sell products. So so some of the things that kind of popped up in my head were like, if you think of Lego is a huge brand that sells a product, but they also have, they do full-fledged movies. You know what I mean? And those are a huge deal for them. Red Bull is known for their YouTube videos. They're known for
They're a whole production company now.
Exactly.
Like
and that's
every
almost
winter,
first. Yeah. That almost comes first. And then the Red Bull comes secondarily to that.
If you see like Red Bull Media Works on like a snowboarding video, they've done enough really high quality extreme sports videos that you actually know it's going to be good. It's not like some other brand slapping their name on it and you're like, oh, they just did that beat like to get the notoriety. It's no, Red Bull is like a legitimate extreme sports production company. I would not be surprised if there were some people that thought that Red Bull was a media company first and a drink second.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
And so I think it's sort of like that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting going forward. I feel like it's all going to be about content. Content first, and finding your tribe, so to speak, and finding the people that are going to connect to your brand and pushing content that's relevant to them. And then secondarily, selling whatever it is that you're selling.
That's interesting. See, I've kind of had that viewpoint really pushed forward in just some of my interactions with business people I know, where they say, hey, we want to become thought leaders. Like yes, we have our business, and yes, this business does this, but separately from that, we believe that we've learned enough as part of this business to become thought leaders. And I said, great, thought leaders on what? And they're like, I don't know anything. Let's just figure out how to do it. And so first in their head is, I have knowledge, I want to share it. I want to, which is great when you're considering something like a content focused marketing strategy, which I think is something everybody needs to be focusing on. If you're listening, if you're a business owner, if you take one thing from this video, all of this starts with content, all of it. And they recognize, these people that I've talked to recognize that it just starts with content. Now, there is that conversation of, okay, great, content about what and why, but you can tell it's first in their heads. I just want to be creating content, and I just want to be a thought leader in some sort of space. And then it's almost like whatever comes from that will come from it.
And that's another thing is, I know we've been talking about, and I'm like the TikToker queen here of the group, just in terms of like watching it and loving it. But it's not necessarily, should not be your only goal. And especially for brands and like companies that we manage, is viral marketing, great, sure. But how many videos do you like? Let's say you just mentioned Legos, whatever. If I saw a cool video, like I might like it, but I am not the target demographic for Legos at all. Yeah. And so they can go look at that video.
Because you're calling it Legos. Who calls it Legos? It's just Legos.
There's more than one.
No, it's just Lego.
About the little pieces.
Hey, Lego is plural.
Lego's plural.
Gosh, obviously you're not Lego's target market. Were you 2 years old when you realized Lego
Did
was
I say
plural?
Legos or Lego? Which one is it?
You said Legos. It's just Lego. Lego is plural. Anyway, keep going.
Lego's my ego, bro. Listen, all I'm saying is Basically, see, you made me lose my train of thought.
Got her. Okay, you're not the target demographic for Legos. You might
correct.
on
So
their
they
stuff.
did their job well if their goal was viral marketing. But if you're reaching just the masses, that's not going to benefit you in terms of your true brand success and business success in sales and all of the other goals. So it's definitely kind of what you were saying, going off of content. It's creating valuable content that reaches the people that you need it to reach. And going viral is like a super cool thing in terms of getting your name out there, but it's very short term and you have to have stuff to back it up.
And if you are a company like Wendy's making video game characters, or Lego making movies and making reality TV shows, those are companies that have grown large enough to be able to diversify off into niche areas. And so it may be a goal in some broader plan of some part of their business to get you to click on a Lego post, because there will eventually be some benefit to them, or there will be a goal of reaching someone like you. But yeah, if just as a general rule for like, local and regional businesses, it's the focus more than likely should very much be on your product and having that drive your brand, instead of having virality and a social media presence drive your brand.
Well, I mean, what really though do all of those brands that we just mentioned, what is the commonality that runs through all of them is that Wendy's, McDonald's, Lego, they've been around
for
forever.
Yeah.
They have strong roots. They have a very strong foundation. And so I think creating that as a business owner in your community is super, super important. Like, you want to have those roots, because ultimately, I always say this, I use this weird analogy, like water your own grass, because that's what's going to, that's what's going to build longevity in your business, build loyalty with the people that work with you. And that's really what matters at the end of the day. And that's what we try to do in the work that we do, whether it's social media management, whether it's SEO management, email marketing, whatever it is. Like, I think one of our big goals is to, water that grass.
We're trying to add value. Those little videos that go viral, if you're not reaching the audience that's really out there purchasing and interested in your brand, then you're not really adding valuable content.
Yeah, add value where you're at, whether it's in your online interactions or in your physical community. Water your own grass, add value where you're at, and does what you're doing make sense for adding value to your business and adding value to your customer. So that's something to be considered for every small business owner that's looking at a new way to reach people, a new way to talk to their target audience, a new color they want to implement into their logo, like however small it is. It's all about, does this add value to my company? Does this add value to my product? And how is this, like Summer said, watering my grass, rather than me looking across at someone else's grass thinking grass is greener over there, I need to pivot and go over there. Pay attention to your own grass. It'll get greener.
Yeah. And it's a long term thing. Things like, people, I think, sometimes think branding, business development doesn't take as long as it actually does. Yeah. Campaigns take a long time. It takes a long time to, establish parameters for a campaign, run a campaign, and then the after, all of the after stuff that comes along with that, like all of the research that has to be done on how effective a campaign was. It takes a lot of time, and it is a lot of trial and error.
Hence why viral marketing short-term efforts has arise.
Right. Yeah. And it's like,
people are trying for the quick fix.
Yeah. Right.
But it's not.
It's not sustainable. It's just not sustainable. And what do you want? Okay. So you have a something go viral, you sell a product, you make a ton of money on one-off purchases, but after those one-off purchases are done and gone, what are you left with? So
if you don't have that base, if you're growing out of a crack in the concrete, you don't have the roots deep enough, you're going to shoot up really quick because there's tons of sunlight, there's nothing else in your way. But as soon as you now have to grow roots deeper and sustain that growth that you've built, you're just going to shrivel. You haven't taken the time to create those roots. I mean, we see that. I mean, this is not a new thing either, like flash in the pan brands, flash in the pan success. That's happened as long as small businesses have been around, but it happens, I feel like, so much more these days because people think that they can start a brand beginning off of something like social media success, or begin a brand and only tie that brand to an Instagram shop or some sort of viral trend that is happening at any given time. And if you've tied yourself to something that doesn't have roots to begin with, you're not going to be able to grow your own roots. So there, we brought it all the way back around and actually made it applicable. But in the interest of that, I think one thing we did want to do here moving forward with the break room is keep them a little bit shorter for you guys. That's something we talked about a little bit, and just kind of letting the conversation run its race, and kind of we'll talk about what we have to talk about, and then we'll let y'all kind of get back to your day. So unless y'all have anything else to chat about this time, I think we can let everybody go for this week and get back to work on our own.
I got one thing, and
All right.
this is just, I don't have a lot to contribute to the viralness of things. But yesterday on Twitter, which I believe started on TikTok, somebody was sharing a clip of Elmo from Sesame Street.
Heck yeah. Which one? There's two going off.
It's the one with the Rocco,
Chelsea knows.
where he's like trying to he wants this cookie, but his friend won't let him have it because the Rock wants it. And Elmo is just like losing his mind over it. I just encourage you all.
Balsamic vinegar.
Yeah, balsamic vinegar.
Y'all should all look up the Elmo Rocco conflict. It is the funniest thing to me.
Okay, so that's just funny.
Elmo losing his mind.
Okay, so that goes to show also, like, kind of how you were saying TikToks get posted on Instagram, and now Elmo is trending on TikTok, like his sounds, because they're like, Elmo has some like swag to him. He's on Jimmy Fallon, I don't know, years ago, I think, and he goes, yeah, what is it? Sesame seeds, garlic, onions, balsamic vinegar. And they were like, everyone's like, damn, Elmo. And then he says there's another, what's the other one, Summer?
Oh god.
There's another one going on right now. But basically, apparently Elmo is trending on all social media platforms.
Elmo trends like every few years. Elmo is timeless. Like, remember, like very beginning of YouTube, the setting the Tickle Me Elmo on fire. Like, that was like one of the very first viral YouTube videos, was like a bunch of Tickle Me Elmo stuff. I think, guys, Elmo is forever. And
I remember,
but that also goes to show.
It's the Elmo chugs along like a train. That's the sound. It's just ridiculous.
I'm gonna have to look all this stuff up.
But I'm pro Elmo versus Rocco, and there's multiple clips. That's just the one that like started it. But y'all will go down that rabbit hole, and y'all will message me and thank me later. Like, you never, like, I thought Elmo was supposed to be this sweet, cuddly guy. I never knew he had so much attitude.
No, Elmo is a savage.
Yeah.
So that's our homework, is to go find or go understand all of these Elmo references.
I'm gonna post stuff in the comments, and
as you find them, Chelsea, post them in the comments after the fact. All right. Good stuff, guys. All right. Thanks for being on. Thanks everybody for tuning in. And all right, get back to work.